All right, we're going to take a look at some things to consider or remember when you're looking at creating a form for gathering information. So in my case, I have a student-parent information form, something I might use at the beginning of the year, an open house. The very first thing I want to make sure that you remember is if you want your parents to be able to have, or if you want to be able to have your parents fill this out, then you're going to need to make sure you make the form anonymous. And by that means that we're going to come down here and we're going to select anyone with a link. Sign in is not required. And I got that from hitting the send form button here. What that does is makes it where we don't have to have anybody sign in to get access to this form. You notice that I've created first and last name in separate questions. And I did that because I want to be able to have the flexibility to sort that out in the spreadsheet later by last name. And if I do both names together, I might get them filling that out backwards or different than somebody else does. So it just kind of gives me that option to be able to make things a little bit more uniform. That is the biggest aspect that you get into, is you might get in the habit when we're keeping the only people in our organization check marked, because we don't have to ask the name because we know it's automatically gathering that. But we definitely want the name in there if it's going to be for an outside our district type of form. Now, the type of stuff that you include in your form is totally up to you. This form here is pretty well all text-based question types. I've got a little sample of a subtitle in here. Remember that if it's something you want uniformity to the answers, and you can make it a choice question where they're going to select things, by doing that, so in my case here, if I ask this as a text-based question, I might get people that put in things other than those three options. If I only want them to have certain options and I want that information to come in within that parameter, then I'm going to go to a choice or a multiple select question. And remember, those are both in the same things. You can see that information in other forms. Now, there's a live version of this form available in the description below, so make sure you take a look at that if you want to see how this would look in live action. Essentially, you're gathering information, so just remember that any question type that you create, or any question that you create, is going to create a separate column in that spreadsheet later, and that's going to be an important piece. Hope this helps.